Canberra Metalheads.
The Archives.
Me and You Season 2. Alright, let's kick it.
Hello and welcome to Canberra Metalheads. You got Marky Malphas and the guys here from Bellwitch. From left to right, we've got
Jesse Schradman. I play drums, organ, and vocals.
Dylan Desmond, and I do bass and vocals.
awesome. It's good to have you on the show, and also being a two-piece, you got like multiple instruments there, so the listeners have to get used to the fact that you're not just doing a single instrument. A lot of the time it'll be, hey, I'm the vocalist and I'm the guitarist, so it's very cool to mix it up. Actually, I think you'd be the first two-piece band we've ever had on the show.
Cool.
And we got both members here, so that adds awesome dynamic.
Hell yeah.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good. Thanks for catching up with me. This is the start of the tour, so
For sure.
First Australian date. How's things kicking off? All off on the right foot so far?
Yeah, so far so good. We got in to the country like 2 days ago. I think each of us had like 25 hours of traveling, and we personally, I think that I adjusted to the time pretty quick.
Yep.
Feeling awake right now. It's kind of getting into the evening time, which is good.
Yeah. It's that first initial date on the tour, I guess, is when you sort of set the pace for the rest of it, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
It can definitely add up. If you have a massive weekend these days, I know I'm sitting here like, man, I'm paying for that weekend on Wednesday still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what it'd be like if it's a tour as well.
Sure. You gotta wonder how many shots you took that you don't remember.
Yeah.
Still hurting you days later.
Yeah, you're like, all right, well, even if the ones I remembered counted, that's still
right,
going to hurt.
Yeah.
But so far, we've been really well taken care of. Everyone's been really cool.
Yep.
Backline's great. Everything's good. So
Yeah, rad, man. No, that's good.
Like exceptionally good.
exceptionally good. Yeah, maybe the
We were
best.
just back there talking like, wow, that all sounded really good. The gear is like top notch. It's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. And the other thing is too, like, being more of contrast to other venues, you get to know that more. Like bands that obviously play at the same venue like regularly, they can see the improvements within that venue, but you're getting like a direct contrast from here to other places around.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it works out better.
What's that?
Hey, we're about to get some food.
It's all good, man.
I've been here. I was hearing that this venue's been making a lot of improvements, like every couple of months too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been getting like.
Is this the first time you guys have been here? Yeah. So I've, like I mentioned before off mic, I've been working here since 2012, just on and off. It's been a casual position the whole time, but when I first started here, the capacity was like 200.
Oh wow.
And we had
Probably more than double that by now.
well, look, so we had I remember the first New Year, I moved here in I think start of December, and of that year, and my first big shift here was New Year's Eve, and the line was down the street, like people were getting off the bus and they were in the line, okay, and that was our capacity. And right now, as of a couple of months ago, when they knocked that wall out and extended it out to the restaurant, it's up to 650.
Whew.
So
That's awesome.
yeah. So, and do you know what controls capacity? It's just purely like
Sprinklers and shit.
bathrooms. Yeah, literally.
Exits and whatnot. Yeah.
So as you might have heard before, there was food that came in. So we're getting all the atmospheric noises of being around the bar environment. So that's good. We've actually had feedback on the show, people saying like, I love the live ones because you're getting all the atmospheric sounds.
Now you can get a little bit of chewing in there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hey, good. This is why we didn't use lapel mics. Thanks, man.
Yeah, they can.
So that's good. It's good to hear the feedback on the venue, and also hear that the word's getting out and getting around. I've interviewed a few bands this way just at the venue, and I've had probably 3 or 4 of the bands that I've talked to specifically mentioned that this place has gotten bigger, or
Yeah,
got food and
this
stuff.
place is great.
Yeah.
I was just talking with Cam, who's on the crew with us.
Yep.
And he was saying that like every time he's here, that like something is expanded or something's kind of been improved upon.
Yeah.
And he's making a good point. He was like, a lot of times you go to a venue every couple months, it looked a little bit shittier, a little bit more trash. And he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I mean, this place is great. Like, we walked in the door, and I was like, whoa, everything's clean. And
Yeah.
And I heard the kitchen just opened.
Yeah.
And the burger's good.
that's cool.
Oh, good, man. I'm glad you liked it burger. Yeah, we...
It's cool to have venues like that.
Yeah. I
It's
think
great.
it is, like, you get a metal vibe from it. It is predominantly a metal bar.
Sure.
But, like, look, we have some promoters do Triple J stuff here as well, which is like the popular radio.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's more like the indie radio station.
Sure.
So
Probably a great space for that.
yeah, and we get good crowds in here, uni crowds, look, things like that. It's just completely versatile, but it's got this like metal core.
Yeah, it's nice to have variety with like a good solid foot in a concrete foundation in the
Yeah.
something.
The other good thing is now the restaurant's next door and bought out the pre-existing restaurant that was there. Being a separate entity, there's no noise complaints anymore.
Oh, perfect.
Hey.
So there's basically
Same owners.
that own both. Yeah.
Cool. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
So there's no real actual noise restrictions.
Ah, perfect.
Being a fairly industrial area.
It's the best kind of neighbors you
after
can ever
5
hope for.
After 5 o'clock, yeah, there's pretty
Totally.
much no restrictions on noise. So
That's
Nice.
killer.
it's like a bus depot. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
that's
killer.
perfect. It's
That's
perfect.
great.
Yeah. But and that seems to be the biggest thorn in the side of a lot of live music in Australia is like the noise restrictions. There's places like Transit Bar in the city that
Sure.
are right next to the Waldorf hotel, which makes it difficult
Yeah.
for them. So
And that could be I think that's the case in a lot of cities too.
Yeah.
Like the venues in Seattle have problems with it. And some, not all, of course.
yep.
And then there's some in cities where the show has to be done by 10 or 11 p.m. Yeah, and it's kind of like, whoa, what kind of like shows should kind of start to be popping right around then, right?
Or in France, where they just make you go to 90 decibels and have no fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Don't even need earplugs at that point.
it's like the
Or 60 decibels, I think, is what.
Yeah.
Is it 60?
No
I
offense to
don't
the
even
French.
know. Yeah, we know what you meant, Jesse.
They try to have fun.
yeah, they just have restrictors on the fun.
Yeah.
It's
Fun
like-
restrictions. Yeah.
It's like the restrictors that they have on sort of like L-plate approved motorbikes and things
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. You can only go to a
It's
certain
like you
speed.
can ride a motorbike, you just can't do it like everybody else.
Right.
So did you guys come straight here from like overseas, or did you?
Yeah, we flew in.
Today?
We flew in to Sydney, maybe
On the 5th.
the 5th, yeah, which was the 3rd for us.
Yeah.
Well, I guess maybe the 4th for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we got here and then just kind of hung out that night and hung out yesterday.
Do some
And,
cool touristy stuff.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, neither one of us has ever been to this con. I don't think either one of us has ever been below the equator before.
Nope.
So this is
Or the equator.
Like to and below,
Sorry.
including the equator.
I was just making fun of that, how you said that.
how did I say it?
Equator?
How do you say it?
Equator?
Oh wow, I never noticed that before.
The difference there
It's
is
the little
so
things.
small.
It's the little things in life. They're very
it's
important.
like still probably my favorite ever Yahoo answer was how many islands are there in the Pacific Ocean? And the
Pacific
dude,
Ocean?
Yeah, the dude was like, "You're gonna have to be more Pacific."
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's genius. I always bust his balls about saying cauliflower.
Cauliflower.
Oh,
It's
dude.
cauliflower, or how do you say orange? Like you eat an orange. He says orange,
It's like orange.
like a pirate eats an orange. Or something. I don't know.
Well, pirates would have had to not to get scurvy, right?
Indeed,
Like they're
indeed.
eating the wrong thing. If no, you'll notice the subtle differences in how I like pronounce stuff. Like
Sure.
Australian seems to be a very like mutilated version of English.
Sure,
Like
sure.
I went to a restaurant and this guy could speak like fluent Italian, but his English wasn't awesome. It was
Yeah.
an Italian restaurant though, so that was great.
Sure.
You could order off the menu. There was like an Italian menu and stuff like that, right?
They mean business.
And yeah, oh yeah. And I basically just like in a game, you need to be at least this level to unlock these like items in the menu.
Depending on the level of Italian, you're filling in. Yeah. For sure.
I just looked down and was like, dude, I'm a 5'7" white guy. Just give me the white guy stuff. Anyway, so
the trick would be to get that Google Translate app where you just
how
shine
right
your
is that?
phone over it, and it says, I mean, I don't know how close the translations are,
And it's
but
like arrivederci.
arrivederci. Exactly, yeah. You could level up pretty quick in Italian with that.
That would be like an expensive mod to buy though.
Yeah,
You could
maybe,
buy,
I don't know.
Actual currency.
Yeah, but that's like years of speaking in Italian though. So,
Yeah, exactly. But so we go into this place, and I just said to him straight up, "Can I grab this one?" Like I just pointed to it, and I'm like, "Can I also get a Peroni?" And he's like, "I'm sorry." I'm just like, "A Peroni," and he's like,
that's how I would say it too.
and I didn't even.
Peroni.
It wasn't even how I said it. It was just like.
No, you can't.
My voice was just put him off.
Yeah.
Like it was like kind of like he was expecting me to say it weird, so he heard me say it weird. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I did exactly what you said just then. I put one hand up and said it exactly how I said it, but all I did was like did the fingers like that, and he instantly I said a Peroni. Like,
Peroni.
and he's like,
It's like part
okay.
sign language. Yeah.
And then it's kind of like prompted him to do it. He's just like, oh, why didn't you just say so? Like his hand's just going straight up.
There you go.
That's funny. The first time I met a Mark from Australia, he said, "My name's Mac," and I was like, "Hey, Mac." He was like, "No, Mark." And I was like, "Mac, yeah." He was like, "No, my name's Mark." And he said, "I'm sorry, Mark." And I was like, "Oh, right." That stuff's great. We did a tour with the New Zealand band Ulcerate in the UK one time. It was like the first night we were all together and we were kind of getting to know each other. And we finished the sound check, and the drummer Jamie came up to me and he said, "It sounds heavy." And I had no idea what heavy meant. And I thought he was saying, like, we would make a joke in the US, it's a bad joke, but we would say, "Gonna get the HIV," like HIV.
Yeah.
And we would say, "I know, I'm sick, I have the HIV," or something.
Yeah.
And I thought he was saying it sounded heavy. Like it sounded like you have HIV, and I was kind of like, I don't get where you're going with this. Like, it sounds like a joke, but I don't see the context. And he was like, "Is my accent that weird to you?" I was like, I guess.
I picked up that term from listening to the Joey Diaz podcast. Like it'll be like, pushing some supplements for as he's like promotion or whatever, and he'd just be like, "These supplements have you losing weight so fast." Be like, "You had to have," and I had to like,
Whoa.
I had to like look it up.
Damn.
That's racy.
Yeah, it's fucking.
He's crazy, man. Joey Diaz, like,
It's another level.
oh man, he'll just throw out references like that, which is rad. But it's just funny because that's just how he works.
Yeah.
And that's part of why he's a good comedian in his scene, because he doesn't hold back on what he would do.
Sure. He has a shock factor to it.
But like he'll have people that he's paying out laughing at what he's saying. It's not not just going for shock comedy. He's just literally saying it how it is, and people will laugh at that. So I dig that.
Sure. Yeah.
But so you mentioned you headed over here. This is the first part of the tour. We're saying, whereabouts from the States are you from?
We both live in Tacoma, Washington, which is like half hour, 45 minutes south of Seattle.
Okay.
So I guess Seattle would kind of be like a home base still.
Yep.
Well, maybe Tacoma's home base. I don't know. I would tell someone we're from Seattle because no one knows where Tacoma is.
Yeah, it's a bit like when people ask, "Oh, yeah, so would I know which part of Australia you're from?" It's like, Sydney.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like, look, Canberra's the capital,
Sure.
but everyone knows Sydney.
Yeah. Everyone probably thinks Sydney's the capital.
We both,
Yeah.
we
Especially
both lived
Americans.
in Seattle for years.
Yeah, right.
So.
Cool. So what's the scene like there compared to, I mean, obviously you're traveling around, you're seeing all different places.
Sure.
What's the metal scene like over there, man?
I think it's on par with a lot of the larger cities in the U.S. It's really, there's good turnouts to shows very often. We get a lot of bands coming through, heavy metal bands in particular.
Yep.
There's kind of like a little maybe play rivalry between Portland, Oregon and Seattle, Washington.
Yep.
It's like a 3-hour drive between the two. So the scenes are very closely related, but
Yeah, it's actually similar to like here in Sydney.
Sure,
Like there's
yeah.
it's just friendly rivalry. It's not
sure,
like
it's fine, yeah.
not like Bloods and Crips or anything.
Sure, yeah.
But it's Yes, yeah. Yet to have a like band that we beef on. Like someone's like wants to be in this band, but they're in that band. Like we take someone's guitarist sort of thing.
Shit gets real sometimes, you know.
Yeah, man. Especially over drummers. Like you guys are probably under. Is it like that? So in Australian band, drummers
like
are
that.
definitely the harder thing, harder instrument to find somebody to do. We got a few local drummers. There's like 3 main dudes in Canberra that like are always in at least 2 bands.
Yeah.
And the thing is though, they get a lot better a lot faster because they're in so many projects.
Sure.
Yeah.
So like they get to this like exponential rate where they're just constantly becoming not just the best drummers, but like
Is that why they drool all the time?
Yeah, you know how you can tell when a
that's
stage is
something else.
level when the drummer's drooling out of both sides of their mouth.
Love it when you're talking and
How
you
many-
think that you just throw a couple little hints in there to see if someone's listening. You guys come over from near Washington or Seattle, sort of area. I've had people from I don't know if you know this, but Todd from Psychroptic from the States. We interviewed him for the podcast.
From the East Coast, is that correct?
I think he was.
New Jersey?
No, I can't remember. I'm not gonna like drop it if I like and get it wrong.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll have
Somewhere
to
in the States.
look it up. And his story's pretty cool. So he's a hired gun basically for. I only use that term because it was coined in that like recent documentary, and it becomes more and more common.
I think it works.
It's been going on for ages, but I don't know whether it's always been called that. I don't know, but anyway.
Well, it's pretty cool to be like.
It's like a mercenary.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to jump continents for that job. That's awesome.
Yeah, so he basically
They're taking our jobs.
Now look at that, the Australians taking all the hardworking American jobs.
Yeah, it's-
or is it backwards?
I don't know.
Americans,
Someone's
Americans are taking all the
some-
hardworking Australian jobs.
what happened there, like it was actually the Americans coming over. So what happened was he was hanging out with a guy who got a call and said, "Hey, do you want to play guitar for play bass for Psychroptic?" He said to him, "Yeah, hang on, I'll give you a call back." And he gets off the phone. He's like, "Hey, Todd, I got this band in Australia. They're pretty big, called Psychroptic. You want to play for them?" And
He's probably a shredder.
well, he's a guitarist, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, "Man, I don't know. I could probably do bass though, you know." So yeah, they were just about to do an American tour, and he's like, "Well, I'll meet you guys over here." So they came over, met him, and toured with him like off the bat.
That's awesome.
And yeah, he's still in the band. It's like 3 years later.
Oh, that's super cool.
So yeah, and they're actually from Tasmania. They're from Hobart, which is so Tasmania is an island.
Sure, yeah,
port,
yeah.
And they've been in the scene for over 10 years, dropping stuff.
Totally.
It's a bit of a Tasmanian map on the face.
Oh, my face, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
exactly. It's like, yeah, Tasmania's the bit that looks like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
They did
the
a tour
hairy
with
bit at the
Gore
bottom.
Guns in North America. Is that correct?
I don't know about when was that?
They did. Okay, yeah. Someone was
Yeah,
talking
there
about
we
that
go.
the
Look,
other
here we
day.
go.
Peanut
Contributing
gallery
more-
over there.
Yeah, contributing more than we ever could expect. But yeah, look,
The man behind the curtain.
we were talking about like touring like that, and Todd was saying like, dude, when you're on tours and stuff and things like that, you're hanging out with, you're doing tours with like Whitechapel and shit. You're like, this is it. This is like in this scene. That's pretty much the pinnacle of where it's at.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think like sometimes, I don't know, you see bands that kind of like push the pinnacle up a little bit more. With like I think Neurosis is a good example. I mean, I don't really know what scene I would say they were ever a part of because they're so unique. But as time went on, like Neurosis just keeps getting cooler and cooler. They just keep pushing things up, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's a good scene like that. Like we had, I don't know if you heard of the Aussie band Parkway Drive. Yeah, they're not really in this thing, but there's a Parkway Drive, Kill Switch Engage, and Diodes Motor tour came through Canberra recently, and it's cool to just see like bigger bands like that coming through. You guys know Killswitch Engage.
Totally, yeah.
So that was a rad gig, and it was at the one of the bigger venues in town, like more of the arena type venues. But yeah, it's cool to see those sort of bigger things coming through, and
Definitely.
and like when you think of it, like you're 1 degree of separation from bands like I mentioned before, like Whitechapel and like Massive, like Delia Murder came here and Cradle of Filth, things like that.
Nice.
So like it's pretty cool to be kind of getting into that sort of like higher level of stuff. And look, having American accents on the podcast is like, you know, I think between you guys and Todd, that's like our internationals.
Cool.
So far, so
we're just really excited to be here. You know,
very excited.
It's like so far away from where we're from.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You know, I was talking to him before. You know,
it might be the furthest from home I think I've ever been.
Absolutely, and it's also just crazy that we've gotten to come here to play music.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, because we definitely didn't. I never imagined that was going to happen.
I think it was always like a kind of a goal that seemed a little unobtainable.
Totally. And if not, maybe was supposed to happen and then fell through for whatever reason. Because it's so hard to get out here.
Yeah.
Especially for us. So it's like, you know, it's just a pleasure to be here and be able to like, you know, meet cool people and cruise around, see the country, and we saw kangaroos today. That's bad.
We actually rode the kangaroos today.
We haven't seen a drop bear yet, though.
Yeah, we haven't seen a drop bear.
Man,
We heard they were
I
everywhere.
heard they're ferocious.
Yeah, dude. Keep an eye out.
People have been really nice here, but the drop bears I've heard of not as nice.
They're probably stalking us, just waiting for the right moment to drop.
That's right. Well, the people you've seen have like survived through the drop bear stage, so I'm glad that like you've managed to meet a few survivors.
I'm also happy to say that I haven't met a bin chicken that I didn't like yet.
Oh, okay.
He's been taking pictures of them. Like a bin chicken photo gallery
on
his phone right
it's
now.
Raining today. They all got a shower, I heard.
Yeah, clean bin chickens.
Oh, man. The banter of touring. Yeah, that's cool, man. So you guys are both original members? Or, like, have you? What's been the dynamic of the band? I mean, to get into a two-piece is pretty interesting.
Jesse, you joined in like 2015, I think, right after Four Phantoms was released. The original drummer Adrian Guerra and I started the band, and we parted ways right after the second full-length Four Phantoms came out. When Jesse joined on, and and then we did this record in 2017. It came out.
Yep.
And I mean it's still very much the same band, but Jesse has a different element to it, of course. Like he had started playing the organ, and I think kind of opened things up a lot with that.
It was pretty cool. You know, Dylan and I have known each other, I guess, for about 12 years now, through other projects and just whatever. So
we both met before we even lived in Seattle.
Yeah, we both lived in different states that weren't Washington, knew each other. And, I'd been bugging him to play in a band with me for years, and then the opportunity arose, and it happened, and it was very natural. Like it clicked pretty much immediately, even though I was playing old songs originally, and it was cool. So like this new album, or Mirror Reaper, was the first thing that he and I did together.
Completely together.
Yeah, and kind of now it's time to start writing new shit.
That's good, man. How's it feel like clicking with a new member and then putting out a new album that's completely just you guys?
Well, I think a cool thing that just kind of the way it worked out is when we started playing together, he was learning all the stuff on Four Phantoms to go tour that around, and kind of like in getting that, you know, like every band kind of has their own like weird little unique feel to it. I think in like us establishing that, we were able to kind of focus on it more and dig into it and expand on it. And then when it came time to start writing the new record, it was like we're already kind of on the same page with that stuff. It was like, how do we apply it to the things that are being put on the table as far as structure goes? And I think we were able to expand on it quite a bit. And I'm looking forward to starting new stuff because we can just go that much further with it.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's kind of like you've bettered that first album there. You can kind of experiment with other stuff and seeing like pushing boundaries and things.
Definitely,
which is definitely a trait of like a band that's got like good longevity, I guess, to change and evolve.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, as I said, there's anything wrong with bands that
Stick
aren't
to
always
what they're
evolving.
doing.
Yeah, like there's the AC/DCs of the world, and I hope they never stop playing.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember in Australia talking about AC/DC.
Hello.
That's cool.
Yeah, there you go.
That was
But
totally unintentional.
It's like a mutual band. We can both kind of
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the common ground.
Sure, yeah.
One of them anyway. But yeah. Anyway, we'll
Well, there's
wrap.
Buffalo too, right? Buffalo is from Sydney. Isn't it Buffalo? Yeah.
Look
I
at
love
See,
that
everyone's
stuff.
joining in.
That was-
Get it all
That's the
going.
man behind the curtain. Everyone.
Yeah. She doesn't have like cue cards.
Like in
Interject the subjects. Whiteboard, that's amazing.
like in Land of the Dead, where they got the dude on the roof across the other side. And he's like holding up the.
Yeah.
Is that Land of the Dead? I don't remember.
One of them. Yeah.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all trapped in the mall.
I think that was Land of the
I get
Dead.
trapped in the mall every time I go.
Yeah.
Like not
That's
even
the idea.
zombies.
Well, it is general public.
Oh yeah, true. The apocalypse is here. We just didn't notice.
It's definitely here.
But yeah, anyway, no, we'll wrap it up with that. It's been good catching up, guys, and good
Thanks for having us.
Good meeting over a podcast, I guess, and looking forward to seeing some stuff tonight.
Absolutely.
Whatever you may have in store for us.
There's no secret to me.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the moment they didn't tell us about what they did.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Indeed.
cool. All right, we'll close it up with that.
Cool.
So there we go. Here on Canberra Metalheads.
We are
Belwich. And you're
listening
to
Canberra Metalheads.
Bianca, bam!